further customize our MT4 chart that we've brought up to this point. We've colorized the candles in the background, and we have added the RSI indicator to the bottom of the chart. We've put it at a setting of 4. And I want one more visual aspect that I'm going to add to the chart here. And I want it because it really gives me a feel for direction of movement quickly. It's just a visual concept. And then in other videos, we will also talk about the concept of confluence, looking at higher time frames and comparing. So you'll be able to compare this visual from a lower time frame. Right now, you can see we are on the 5-minute chart. And in the future, we'll switch back and forth to look at a higher time frame to kind of get what's called confluence, or what is the higher time frame direction. And then we have that bias. It's either up or down. Price is going up, price is going down. And then we have that bias that we can come back when we're trading on, let's say, the 5-minute chart or the 15. That's typically where we're going to trade. If we want to get really aggressive and certainly do some fast demo testing, we'll go down to the 1-minute chart. But I'm going to add 2 moving average lines. We'll walk through the process, and then I'll talk about the concept. So I'm going to go to the navigator window here. And what I'm looking for, it is in the trend section. So I'm going to, obviously here I am, expanding indicators, expanding trend. And right here, I want a moving average. We're actually going to add 2 of them to the chart. So the first one I'm going to add is called a slow moving average. The next one will be a fast moving average, or vice versa. We'll actually add the fast one first and the slow one second. So either way, it doesn't really matter. I'm going to drag this over to the chart and drop it. And then I get my customization window here. The period that I want is 13. It's already set. That's just from the one that I use. And we'll go in deeper on this. But again, it's more of just a visual instead of, all of the mathematics that go into calculating these particular indicators. So I'm going to set it at a period of 13. I'm going to leave it at exponential. Apply to close. There'll be 0 shift. And then I'm going to leave it at green. And I typically go for the second line thickness here. So it's just a little bit bigger, and I'm going to hit OK. Now that puts the line on the chart. And then I'm going to come over here and I'm going to grab the moving average indicator again and drag it to the chart. We're going to actually add 2 at the same time. So the next period is going to be 48. So it's a 48 period moving average. We'll talk about those numbers in a minute. It remains the same, exponential close. And I'm going to make this, let's go with like a blue, and the second line thickness there. I'm going to hit OK. So here we have it. We have 2 moving average lines. The fast one stays closer to the candles and the pricing, and the slow one stays farther away. Now, the fast one I said is a 13. All that means is that we're on the 5-minute chart right now. The mathematics look back 13 closed candles to basically draw the direction on the screen. And that's really all I'm looking at. I'm looking at the direction. And if you look at this 48 moving average on here, what that means is it looks back 48. Mathematically, it looks back 48 candles on the chart. So 48 5-minute candles. In this case, you can see we're on the 5-minute chart. If I was on the 4-hour chart, it would look back 48 4-hour candles. So what it gives you is a visual representation of whether the price is going up or down. Now, a lot of times without these lines, it's kind of hard to tell. Where is this going? Is it going up? Is it going down? I would tell you this. Let's look at the concept first of the moving average cross. So when the green line crosses the blue line upward, so when the fast crosses the slow line upwards, that's obviously an uptrend. That's called a moving average cross right there. Moving average cross, green line crossing over the blue line going up. That's a price going up. You literally could take a trade at that junction and just as soon as those lines cross, do a buy. Over here, where the green line, the fast line, crosses the slow line, green crosses the blue going down, that is a downtrend. You literally at that junction could do a sell and you would be able to profit all the way down. Now, if you look at this visually right now, you'll start to see that they're starting to come back together and that the price is starting to flatten out, just going up a little bit, down a little bit, up a little bit, down a little bit. So that's in a range. I can actually draw on the chart there. Let's see if I can get a shape. I'll grab a rectangle. And if you look at this pricing here, it's really just, it's ranging is what they call it. It's not trending, it's ranging. I like to have that visual. Now, obviously, I drew this on here. You don't have to draw objects on the chart, but I wanted you to have that visual. Now, I am going to close the navigator over here. So I have this moving average, and now it gives me an idea. I can simply glance at it and go right here. Obviously, price is going down. Let's go back in time. I'm going to click the scroll icon up here. So if I don't click the scroll icon and it's clicked and I try to go backwards, every time the price updates, it's going to drag me. See, it drags me right back to the beginning. I can't even go back in time. So I'm going to turn that scroll function off. And now I can hit the arrow, the left arrow on my keyboard, and I go back in time. And let's just look at some different times when we had a moving average cross going up. Literally, if you had purchased right there and the price kept going and going and going and going, you know, you could have been in the trade a long, long time and made a lot of money. Now, what I'm typically looking to do is I'm not trading at the moving average cross. You could. That's a whole other concept. We're not really going to go that direction right now. What I'm going to do is I'm going to trade at I'm basically going to trade when the RSI is at the bottom or at the top. And we'll get deeper into this. Again, this video is just about setting up the moving average. But I want you to understand it's absolutely a visual. As we go back in time here, you can see when the price was flat, it was just hovering around both of those lines. And you can see other times. Let's go back here and look at an extreme scenario where the price just absolutely dropped and the moving average is crossed and we're obviously in a downtrend. I only use this moving average visual as that, a visual. I typically don't trade with it. It's not as accurate of a trading signal as you'll find the RSI 4 is, which is down below, and we're going to talk about that. So now that I have the moving averages on my chart, and I'm kind of getting a little bit ahead of ourselves here, let me go ahead and click the scroll button so the chart goes back to the current time. And I want to go ahead and save this template. I have it complete now. I have my 2 moving averages. I have my RSI 4 below. I'm going to go ahead and click the template icon, click Save Template, and we're going to call this something that's indicative of what we have here. So I might call this my RSI 4 chart plus moving average. RSI 4 plus moving average. So I'm going to hit Save. Now I can apply this template to any other chart. Let's go back to another chart where I don't have the moving average on there. And what I'm going to do is go ahead and click my template icon and go to the RSI 4 plus moving average, and it just will add those moving averages. Now, let's go over to the market watch icon here, and let's just open up another chart. Let's open up any random chart, right click, chart window, and again, we have this default MetaTrader 4 chart, which is really not very tradable or readable. I'm going to then go ahead and drop down my templates here, choose my RSI 4 plus moving average, and boom, you can see that we are immediately able to, on any currency pair, add this template. And that's the place we needed to get to. Now we're ready to talk about trade entry and the trade strategy and what we're going to do, whether we're going to enter a buy or a sell and how to do that. We'll go into much more detail in upcoming videos, but at this point we have a full trading template. This is where you want to get to. Save this as a template, and then we'll move on, and I'll see you in the next video.